and we shouldn't have these dogs in New Zealand. I support this motion on the order.
Dr. Ashraf Chowdhury.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to speak on this bill, on this notice motion. We support this motion because we really need to do more in this area, which this government hasn't done anything for the last 2 years. They've been promising, the minister has been promising for 2 years, but that minister, do-nothing minister, has not delivered anything. And now he brings this motion, as my colleagues earlier said, is really not a proper way to deal with these issues. I mean, there was a proper way to go to the admin committee and get this job done properly. Mr. Speaker, this is an issue which the Labour government handled very well in 2008. We had issues, real serious attacks at the time when the public was up in arms about these attacks happening around the country, and the Labour government did something about it, and we declared some of these menacing dogs as dangerous dogs, and we took action. Now, current situation is that we still have a lot of attacks happening throughout the country. 10,000 injuries, dog-related injuries in the country last year. And in Auckland alone, last 6 months we had over 300, I understand to be exact, 320 attacks happen in Auckland alone. Mr. Speaker, I get the opportunity to occasionally get to go to the local botanical garden in the Manariwa, the garden area. And we see a lot of people now are slowly getting used to handling their dogs. There's an area there which is dogs are on leash, and there's an area dedicated for dogs have the opportunity to go and walk. And I'm glad that a lot of these people now, a lot of the owners are becoming quite responsible owners. I must say that. Because particularly when I get to get there, and with my wife, she's very scared of these dogs, because she had an attack on her some years ago in Palmerston North, and she's very, very scared of these dogs. So we are very careful when you go around, and there are big dogs around this park, and she's always very, very scared of these dogs. But this is an issue which I think is. It's a kind of area where a lot of people have emotional. Thank you, Mr. Robertson. It's an emotional issue for a lot of people, particularly when young children, when women, when people who are not used to the dog, then when they get attacked, then of course there's a lot of emotional issues come out in the papers and in the media, and then we all get concerned about it. But this is something that we should have done, in a good manner, not something waiting for 2 years to do this thing. As Charles Schwab earlier said, this should have been something which we should have done in a proper way. Now, I'm glad that at last the government and the ministers is taking some action about this particular species of dog. This is Perro de Presa Canario. And I think that's a dog which I understand is not existing in New Zealand at the moment. And hopefully, through this, we shall have a ban on such species to come to New Zealand. And we'll have, the Australians, our neighbours, have already sort of banned this thing. And I think it's very well known that this dog is actually bred for fighting purpose. And we can do without this species of dog in New Zealand. And with those words, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to support this notice of motion, and I hope the government and Mr. Hyde will take further action to have this proper review that he's been planning and has been saying to us for that he's going to do this. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker. Dr. Cam Calder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy to take a short